aren't more English teams looking likely to proceed out of the pool stages this season?
It's a big question. I think you look at, from a coaching point of view, what happens most in the game. The passes is most, the second is breakdowns. And I think there is the problem. I think that a lot of teams, except for Saracens, don't attack the breakdowns hard enough in the English Premiership in defence. That allows you to have easier ball in attack. So you go into big games against teams who jackal really hard, who commit numbers in defence to the breakdowns, then your clean-out technique is not as good as it should do because they've been used to getting easy ball. Okay. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you see this, you see there?
And you just think that's a huge problem in the Premiership in general?
Yes, I do, yeah. And, you know, I think the best number 7 in the Premiership at the moment is Sam Underhill, who learnt his at the Ospreys.
It's been a problem for a couple of years, hasn't it? We talked about it last year, and potentially being a little bit down to the referee interpretations, and they were much quicker in the Premiership to coach you to get your hands away, to make their lives easier. They want to see easy rucks to referee, so if they're shouting, get your hands off, then players are automatically not competing as hard. And when they got to Europe last year, they struggled. I think they are playing catch-up on it.
Yeah. An interesting point, though, isn't it? Because we always sit here and we talk, why aren't English teams kind of doing as well? Maybe they seem like, oh, because they haven't had enough rest. It's nice to have that kind of perspective, right, Oz?
Yeah, but also, you look at Scotland, the Irish sides, they're all managed by their union, so they play a lot less rugby. I think, was it Sexton played 24 games or something last season? You know, you've done that pretty much by Christmas if you're in the Gallagher Premiership, so it's really tough. And I agree with what Sean's saying. I think the number of passes is key, because if they're playing more ball in hand and they're moving the ball a lot quicker, it's a lot more difficult to get over the ball because your timing is slightly later into the breakdown. We'll look at a bit of a demo on that later about avoiding the clear-out, but realistically, we have to start moving the ball a lot more. But a lot of that is just inbred, it's trend, and it's what a lot of the forwards in the English Premiership do. They like to carry, and they like to carry into traffic rather than looking at space.
You're absolutely right. I mean, we don't want to sit here and sound like we're making excuses for the guys in the Premiership, but Oz, how hard is it now to be able to fight on both fronts in terms of trying to get in the top 6 of the Premiership or even higher, as well as trying to establish like a really decent campaign in Europe?
Well, the money's shared across all the sides that qualify, so it doesn't make any difference to you financially about how much you will get if you get into that tournament. So that argument's gone. The reality is that you've played 6 really hard games after a pre-season before you even get into the group stages and start the group stages, where the other sides in the Pro 14 equally have played a lot of games, but they've got much bigger squads. And then you've got the guys in Ireland and in Scotland who are playing less games and resting their star players.
They've got bigger squads.
The French sides have.
No. Well, yeah, top 14.
Top 14,
not
sorry.
Leinster have a much bigger squad. But sorry, I was just going to say is that the other thing is, I think the top 14 and the English Premiership, their teams would prefer to win their domestic competition first, and then once they've won that, they want to go and conquer Europe. I think Leinster would sacrifice winning the Pro 14 to win Europe again. I think that's their biggest, that's where all their focus is. So that does change things in terms of your planning for the season and where you look to peak and the rest of it.
See you nodding there.
The great thing about the game of rugby union is it's a contest for the ball. It's the fair contest at the scrum, fair contest at line-out, and the fair contest at the breakdown. And that is the essence of the game, and that's what it should be.